Forced. Yeah.
Forced.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Welcome to a random pop-up, but it's not so random because I'm here speaking with Frankie Jeskis and Ruben Borst from down in Launceston because we've got something super exciting that we're doing this week. And I'm over the moon for this opportunity. G'day, guys. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm great, Scotty.
Mate, how exciting is this? This opportunity, Industry Connect. What is it, Frank?
I thought I'd pass on to Ruben.
Oh, thanks,
You're
mate.
the main guy.
Don't worry, I'm coming from Ruben in a big way. That's why I'm coming to you first.
Oh,
No. Look, essentially, it's just anyone in the construction industry coming together for a day of activities with, we all like our bikes and cars. We've got Simmons Plains Raceway booked. But it's also a serious side of road safety. You know, we're all, as people in the industry, we're always in the car. Road safety is an important thing, but also having you come down and we're going to talk about mental health, your own personal lives within your own business, or even if you're a subbing tradie, you know, it's an important part of the industry and it's been neglected, to be fair. We don't talk about it enough.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to dive into that in a little bit because you and I have had a great journey of connection throughout the years, and it's been a journey of mental well-being. So I'll grab that for you in a minute. Now, Ruben, thank you so much for coming on. But firstly, I want to thank you for your effort in this. I think it's extraordinary. I think the passion you've got for wanting to support others is just absolutely wonderful. But I need to ask you a question to start off, mate.
Yep.
Why did you want to bring this to the construction industry? Why you? Why are you so passionate about it?
Oh, it all started with a conversation with Steve from Tas City Building that we both really enjoy riding our motorbikes. And for us, to get out on the bike is an escape from the day-to-day pressures of running businesses. So we wanted to do it. We've been talking about this for 3 years now. And we just came to the conclusion that if we're going to do this, we really need to do it for a reason, right? We know what it means for ourselves to go and do it. So why can't we share that with the industry? So that's where we got talking about forming Industry Connect. And it was born. And the relationship I've got with you, it's just all organically grown to where we are right now.
So what are the reasons you get out on your motorbikes? What are the main purpose for that?
You put your helmet on, you don't have your phone, and you're alone. It's hard to describe, but there's a sense of freedom.
Freedom of what?
The pressures of life. Pressures of business.
You'll make me want to go get a bike.
Well, it's really hard to explain. If you haven't ridden a bike before, if you don't ride a bike, you probably get the same sort of feeling in your car sometimes. Maybe not to the same extent. But
not quite the same.
But when you're in a car, you still have your phone can ring and you can still talk to people on the phone through Bluetooth. But when you're on a bike, you don't have any of those distractions.
Yeah.
It is really hard to explain, but that's why we do it.
Oh, it's interesting you say that because I was a motorbike rider for a long time and I currently don't have one and I'm currently looking for one just because of that opportunity of freedom of mind. And something with that inside anything that we do, your freedom of mind is so important. Having emotional availability is really important to life because the pressures get to us. What do we have as a release? What positive steps do we put in our life in order to create the opportunity to embrace the conversations we need to have? And that's what I love about this. I love the idea that we're looking at positive mental well-being. And I think this event is actually going to be a first. So tell us about the event, Ruben.
So the event itself, what specifically would you like to know?
What are we doing on the day? What are we challenging?
So we're addressing, like Frank said earlier, there's as tradies, they spend a lot of time in their vehicles. So we've got Performance Driving Australia doing an advanced driving course with some emergency braking and some emergency avoidance on track and in a controlled training facility at Simmons Plains. Then whoever wants to go for a motorbike ride, I'll take those guys out. We'll go for a 2-hour cruise and then we'll come back. And by that time, the guys on the bikes have got a clear head. They've had fun. We're going to be riding with people we've never met before. So we're going to make some new friendships. The guys on the track, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to be in their cars. They love their cars, and they'll be doing this training and having fun. Then we'll come back. We'll have lunch with a barbecue, and then we'll get into the Courageous Connections, and we can share experiences and whatnot we've had through our journeys so far.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to have the track open, and there's a Lotus Exige. Mark's kindly taken to the event for us, and people can either jump in that for some hot laps or actually take it for 5 laps themselves around the track. So it's going to be, yeah.
That's for some of us that can fit in it.
You have to be less.
I'm a little bit taller than that. I'm not going to fit too well. My head's going to be sticking out.
You can hang it out the window.
Oh, that's going to look, isn't it?
So the day, it's touching on some really important things in the industry, but it's more so about building those relationships with people you wouldn't normally consider as being someone you can talk to. And that's why it's Industry Connect. So you're building connections in the industry.
Why is that so important to be able to build those relationships?
Look, some guys work alone. Some guys have a small team. Other people might have a big team, but not everybody has faced the same challenges in life. So by surrounding yourself with more people, there might be the chance that someone else is going to be able to provide some kind of advice and assistance.
Are you surprised by when you connect with other businesses and you have conversations or other people in the industry, just how much you can solve your own opportunities by having a conversation and listening to what they have to offer?
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Definitely.
So Frank, you're nodding quite heavily at that. So what's been your experience with that?
I've been in the industry for, I don't know, nearly 30 years now. And I've found just being open and honest, and sometimes you're in work conditions and talking about stuff, just talking about stuff, and you get to know people, you get to know them a bit better. It could be the builders, the sub-trades, it could be the developers, could be anyone within the industry. Plus, me as a building designer, I deal with the other side of it, all professionals, and you build relationships there over time, and in some cases you build some really good friendships and you meet really cool people. And then by you making those connections, also you're looking out for them. I found some of the other subbies have looked out for me in business-wise, vice versa. We do the same. So no one wants anyone to lose money or have other challenges or get caught out on certain things. So it's just nice when other people have your back.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a good feeling when you've got someone else having your back, especially the industry as a whole. I think the construction industry is a fantastic industry. It's, you get to create and build some extraordinary things. And one of the things I'd like to see built more these days is relationships and relationships within one another, because the strains of life, like we were talking before, Ruben, about how you felt people were more connected 20 years ago. And these days, there seems to be a lot more disconnection. And for myself personally, I think it's due to the opportunities that we don't have the time, we don't create the time, relationships. And that's one of the things I'm really looking forward to bringing to this event, is the fact that there's positive opportunities. We're out on motorbikes. We're out driving cars. We're doing things that put smiles on people's faces, which creates a positive environment, which creates positive connections. When we myelinate those pathways, we actually create more positive things in other areas of our life. My big thing that which I'll be bringing to the table is courageous conversations, and it's something for me that I've been lucky enough to have with both of you over the years, because we've built those relationships. I'm going to start with you, Frank. How important has it been to have that connection, to have those courageous conversations?
Oh, I was very dubious at first, and as you letting someone else in, talking other than your partner, your wife, in, and you're talking about a lot of stuff. We spoke about a lot of deep stuff. You made me cry a couple of times. Your rat bag,
He's good at that.
He's very good at that. Yeah, but they were great, and you challenged me, and also dig down deep. And it was great, and it was a good feeling afterwards. But obviously, you're a great listener too, Scotty, and you ask the tough questions. It's been a great benefit because you can reflect on a lot of stuff too. Stuff that's hanging around, how you may deal with it now, pent up issues, all those types of things.
I can feel that as we're talking, you've gone back into that feeling of actually you and I having those conversations, right? And when we have those situations in our life, that heaviness to those conversations, we actually carry with us everywhere we go. If we don't have the opportunity to process them, that's where the trouble begins for me. That's where things start getting heavier, and then things start compounding, and it becomes, it's like being out in the waves. They just keep coming. And you just can't see your way over the top of them. Ruben had a bit of a listen in on a conversation we had you were having just before we got on air. And, suicide's an issue, right? So especially for our men. We can sit and we can throw numbers at people, and I'm not big for that. I'm not big at throwing statistics, but I'm really big on having conversations before we get to that point. Before we get to the point, having the only solution as suicide, when it's not. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We just need to know how to work through those problems. That conversation that you've just had, you talked about CBD points, and this is something for me that with the construction industry is really important. We've got to focus on better educating our builders on timber, on products, on systems, on how to deal with different operational procedures. But we don't have any tick in the box for our mental well-being. How do you feel about that?
I find it disappointing. I really do. I know all those items you just discussed, they're an important part of the building industry for sure, but so is people's mental health, and so is everyone's well-being. It needs to be addressed. People need to be educated on it.
Well, sometimes having a chat, it's your self-worth, what you think your self-worth is. Be able to talk to someone. Maybe you can't talk to your partner sometimes about some of this stuff.
Maybe you can't talk to the guys and girls you work with. Like you want to talk to somebody that you don't have to see every day.
And you don't know what culture people are coming from, what they're working in.
Correct.
What other challenges, underlying challenges they have. You just don't know.
You don't. But by surrounding people with like-minded people in the industry, there's plenty of people that have had similar experiences.
That's just one small part. They get the challenges of the industry.
Correct. The stresses, the financial difficulties, the client difficulties, all those things they can share, how they overcome those problems.
Yeah, and I love that, right? Because one of the things I love talking about for tradies in particular, you've been on the tools all day, right? Physically, you're exhausted. You don't have a lot left in the tank. not a great time to have an emotional conversation, right? Because if you do that, you don't have the energy to be able to sit in that. And I think that's something that is super important, is how much energy we have to have these conversations. You and I, Ruben, in the past have had big conversations. And after having them, how have you felt?
I felt prior to those conversations that I was the only person in the world that had those troubles.
Yeah.
Right? Afterwards, it's just like you feel like a whole weight has been lifted off you because someone's been through it.
Yeah.
Someone else has been through it. 100 other people have been through it. You're not, there's plenty of people out there that you can talk to and that can help you through it. Yeah, okay, not everyone's been through the exact same circumstances, but yeah, there's definitely been through something similar.
Yeah, definitely similarities. And what, we've done on business, business to business, Scotty, that's where we first met, and we were talking about, certain parts, profitability problems, suppliers, all that type of stuff. We can talk about that and we can come up with some other ideas as well. But when we talk about ourselves and what's going on, it's the same thing. You can come up with some ideas, some thoughts, or someone else understands me.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we don't place enough value on, is the fact that inside a room, there is actually a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of stuff that people have been through that makes people empathetic and gives us the opportunity to actually connect deeper. And once we've got that deeper connection, we've actually got another resource that we can actually tap on the shoulder and just go, hey, listen, do you mind if I borrow your ear for a bit? I remember we sat and we had a conversation and you went through this. I learned this. I'm going through this. Is it okay if I share that with you? I've never met anybody who will say no to that. Like when you open your heart and have the opportunity of an honest, heartfelt conversation, people will open up. They'll take the time to listen. So yeah. All right. So what I'm sitting now, I've got a few questions here, and I sort of want to get through a few of them, if that's all right. Because we could always go off on a tangent, right? Because at the end of the day, we're passionate people. We're sitting here today because we care not only about our industries, we care about other people in our lives. We care about how we turn up. We care about our circle of influence. We care about how we grow together. And I think that's probably the most beautiful thing about this. What is the outcome you're hoping to achieve, Ruben?
Okay, the outcome I would like to achieve is pretty simple. You hit the nail on the head before. It's more resources, more people that are connected, that can share, can help. It's not as if we're asking everyone to have a solution to someone else's problem, but it's more so that there's a listening ear out there for people.
Yeah. And I love that, because we're going to bring something special, which I haven't shared with you guys yet, which I'll talk to you about after this, which I'm really looking forward to, because it's
surprise.
Mate, you know me, I'm never going to just but it's really, really important in the modern era, and especially with AI and everything coming forward, that we actually get to know people and we spend time and we actually go into our feelings so that we can actually see what's true and what's not. And so much of everything's been marketed to us these days. It's all filtered through AI. It's filtered through what's real, what's not.
What conversation's real or not.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we're so disconnected in everything we do. It's email, text messages, that personal touch point's gone.
Well, supposedly we're better connected in a way, because we've got so many ways to communicate. We're totally rubbish at communicating.
Yeah.
It's just black and white. It's not get to know. Like we used to have to go to council to meet all the planners and sit on the bench. And now it's just all emails. Don't know what they look like unless they've got a photo on their email signature. Yeah. It's all very impersonal.
And that's what I mean. Like 20 years ago, you had to drop off a set of drawings.
That's right.
You had to go and talk to someone. You couldn't text or messenger or whatever.
And so many businesses now, you can't even ring them, or certain councils, you can't ring someone, it's all via email. And I think this is how do you build a relationship when you've got to work together on something, let alone any other type of conversation.
Let's go old school. Let's go back to old school.
I think it's a good idea.
Well, it's funny because I'm a big believer in growing together, and I think technology has given us the opportunity to connect like never before, but it doesn't give us the opportunity to build quality relationships. That's the part that I'm hearing from both of you, that the opportunity comes when we build quality relationships. That's what makes us feel stronger together, right? We feel stronger together. We've belonged to something. We belong with somebody when we can build those relationships. And I think that's the key part of life that we could really improve. And it's interesting because courageous conversations, one of the things that, and I really want to stipulate this for everybody who's coming, it's not a mental health day where you have to pour everything on the table or anything like that. It's actually just knowing that you've had experiences in life that have gifted you some fortitude, that have gifted you the opportunity to move forward. When we share those opportunities and we find the wins and we take those and we share it with somebody else, it gives them permission to own their story. It gives them permission to own a part of their life that they need to talk about. That thing that rattles around in your head as you try to go to sleep, yeah, that's the one thing that if you took that out of your life, you could take a step forward. Who is the person in your life to be able to help you do that? You can find that when you build relationships with people that have experience. And for me, Industry Connect is a fantastic opportunity for the construction industry to connect just on the next level. That's all it is. We're going to go do something positive. We're going to have some fun. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Just being conscious of time, because I do want a lot of people to watch and understand this. In all of your experience, Frank, and with 1 minute, what reason would you give someone to be at the Industry Connect Day?
Other than pure connection and having a bit of fun, it is bound to learn, listen, but you might find someone that you can relate to, that you can have a chat with, and sometimes easier to talk to people that are not your mates, to be able to just open up with and share, or just be there to listen to someone. You may not need that. Maybe you can go and listen to someone who's going through some stuff. Sometimes easy to talk to people you don't know very well.
How important is listening?
Unbelievably important, and one of the hardest skills to learn, I've found myself.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about that, and I'm just thinking about the amount of times I've sat with men that don't want to be here, and the only option I have is to sit and listen. And it is the greatest tool I have. I place a very high value on that. Thank you, Frank. Same question to you, Ruben.
Well, the answer is going to be relatively similar. It's about finding friendship, building a friendship, mateship in unlikely places. Might walk past these people every day in the street, drive past them. You don't know them, but that this event is about getting to know each other, building friendships. Hey, when we first met, the first time I spoke to you was over the phone, right? And I could share because I felt comfortable because I didn't know who you were. But now look, like we've become mates.
And there's no judgment with any of this too.
No.
I point that out. No one's here to judge or whatever. It's just to listen, or if you need to get something off your chest, or vice versa.
Everybody should have an opportunity to be heard
Hmm.
in any part of life. If they need help,
Yeah.
they should be comfortable enough to ask for help, and that is for everybody probably one of the single most hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Because we're all so proud.
I think it's the bravest thing we can do as men, is to have a courageous conversation about the things we need to talk about so that we don't pass on that energy and weight to those that we love, because we carry it with us. If we don't process it, we continually carry it. And that's I really want to take away from this day. Look, I'm over the moon with the opportunity to be a part of this, and I can't thank you both enough for thinking of me when it comes to positive well-being. I'm lucky enough to have had deep conversations with both of you and really connect into the heart. I guess that's why we're doing this event. Yeah. Frank, Ruben, I really want to thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share? It's like it's this Friday. The event's this Friday.
Yeah, 22nd. Starts at 9 a.m. at Simmons Plains. Those who are attending on their motorbikes will meet at our office here at Goodman Court, White City Group, and we're going to go for a ride before we even get there. So before 9 o'clock, we'll go for a 45-minute cruise.
And warm the bikes up.
We'll warm the bikes up, that's right. So we'll be there. We've already started our journey an hour earlier, but it's going to be great. And you get a pair of socks.
Always need a pair of
The socks.
Always need socks.
Tell us about the socks, Scotty.
Well, the socks are a tool. It's a tool to connect with people. They've got a very specific message on them that allows us to have a conversation without having a conversation. It's about listening. It's about saying to somebody, hey, I see you right now. I know things aren't perfect, but I just want you to know I'm here for you. I don't have the answers, but I have dark days too. That opportunity of having that one conversation, it's going to help us reduce the statistics, because there's so often. How many times have you seen somebody in your life and you know they're in trouble? You know things are going on for them, but you don't know what to say.
Oh, hoops.
Yeah.
Absolutely hoops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just lost to ask or do I, don't I? Yeah.
So how do we have those conversations? We say
you're
thank you to.
Mate, you're the master of that. Seriously.
I think it's about listening more than actually having to say something. It's about giving those people the platform to speak.
And getting that start, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here quiet because you're both thinking about situations that's happened in your life, right? You're both thinking of situations that you could have done things better. You could have had that conversation. And I don't like that.
Missed opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's the best part of it, right? On Friday, we're going to get an opportunity to be able to thank someone and actually have our presence be the best thing that we have to give to one another. And that's what I love about this. If you ever wonder whether or not your presence make a difference, come along on Friday and find out. I can guarantee it does. All right, guys. Thank you so much for a conversation. Is there anything else you guys would like to cover off before we get out of here?
I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good.
Oh, anyone in the industry, please come.
It's got the important thing.
What?
Barbecue.
Food.
We've got food.
If you're going to bring men together, you have to have food. You can't not have food.
Oh, come on, we're just doing a barbie, so nice and simple.
Perfect. What have we got on the barbie?
Snags and burgers.
Oh, giddy up. That's
You're not like cooking, so it's not going to be bad, so it's fine.
I love it. All right, boys. Well, listen, thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to being there on Friday. Now, if someone had to get in contact with you to get a ticket, where would they go?
Eventbrite. Jump onto Eventbrite, look at search for Industry Connect in Launceston, and it'll pop up. So there's a small fee, $22.39, I think it is, and that'll get you that fee is purely for a pair of socks. Yeah, that's all it is. We're not here to make money, we're here to build relationships.
Yeah.
It's about impact, not dollars. And I think that's something that inside the mental wellbeing world, that's where our focus. It's impact, not dollars. Yeah, we need fuel to make these things happen, but it's about the impact we have. So get behind it. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day, and I can't wait to see you both on Friday.
Thanks, mate. Look forward to catching up.
Yeah, same. See you guys. All right, now, where's that bloody button?